Good day and welcome to Managing. There's a growing trend across the country. Companies are sending their employees home to work. Computer networks, email, fax machines, all helping to blur the line between headquarters and home. Today we'll take a look at how Primetime Publicity has taken the virtual office and created a virtual company. Its chief executive officer based in Kansas, its staff scattered all across the country. Primetime has replaced its office walls with a sophisticated information network. That story is coming up. Stay with us. Dick Grove, the CEO of Primetime Publicity and Media, loves traveling the information superhighway. Jen Hopkins tells us now about his life on the road.
He's a biker, he's a farmer, he's a CEO. He's Dick Grove, head of Primetime Media, a national media placement agency.
If it's come into the office, I'll just hook up I'll hook up my computer out here, and why don't you go ahead and fax it to me?
He doesn't need a phone booth to change identities, just a phone, a cell phone. A quick stop, a conversation, and information transfer. Another problem solved at Primetime, and just another day in Grove's virtual office.
Oh.
Should have brought a carrot.
Yeah. I'm going to go up to the office.
Grove lives on a farm near Lawrence, Kansas, and has an office there as well. But he can run his company from any place he chooses. Communications technology gives him the freedom to roam, while staying in command of a firm with clients and staff scattered across the country. He's as close to his work as the phone in his briefcase, and as far away from skyscrapers as he ever wants to be.
We don't like to ride elevators in this company. We just want to do good work and be content at the end of the day.
Primetime's founder recruited the public relations veteran 3.5 years ago to solve some financial and organizational problems at the San Francisco Bay agency. Primetime is a different kind of public relations agency. It specializes in targeted media placement. Clients decide where they want their stories to appear, in print media like the Wall Street Journal or Forbes magazine, or on television programs like the Today Show or news spots on CNN. Fees are based on the media placement.
Our average cost to our client would be somewhere in the area of $7,000 or $8,000, depending again on the size of the story or the length of the story and the medium in which we're able to get it placed.
If Primetime didn't produce, clients didn't pay.
We don't charge an hourly fee. We don't charge retainers. We don't charge for effort. We only charge for success.
No retainers meant the company did not have a steady income.
You have to keep your overhead at the very, very lowest possible, because in effect you are taking the financial risk.
Grove needed to cut operating costs without touching the salaries of his talented staff. He focused the agency on servicing clients and cut back on staff looking for new business. Primetime had a policy of hiring news professionals with top-level experience in print and television media, reps who could talk the language of reporters and producers.
One of the things I discovered at that point was that we needed to modernize the company from a technology standpoint.
Staffers were presented with computers, and the terms internet and electronic mail became part of the company's daily vocabulary.
There were one or two that literally were frightened to death, scared to death of this computer. And within a month, they were the most obsessive users of email.
Technology linked the California Home Office with offices in the homes of its 8 media reps across the country.
When you tear down the walls, you also tear down much of the bureaucracy.
Email messages and real-time information sharing replaced out-of-date reports and time-consuming management meetings. Productivity went up, real estate costs went down. Then Grove tore down the walls of his own office. A trip back to Kansas for a high school reunion made him think of returning to live in the area.
If my employees can communicate via email and the internet and telephones and faxes, then why can't the CEO?
Grove's wife needed convincing. Teresa was a California native with her own freelance career as a meeting planner.
It seemed like the perfect opportunity. We were looking to make a change from the Bay Area. We weren't sure exactly what it was.
I'm not sure which was most difficult, whether it was convincing Teresa or, in effect, looking and saying, how are we going to run the company?
Teresa joined her husband and stepson on a college scouting trip to the University of Kansas in Lawrence.
I fell in love with Lawrence. I just felt very comfortable when we came back to visit. And I decided to spend a weekend on my own before I gave the full go-ahead. and I loved it.
The couple abandoned their cosmopolitan California lifestyle for a farm in landlocked rural Kansas. A farmhouse with a facelift on 27 acres of land became their new home and Primetime's newest branch office.
Bring me up to date, if you would, some of the things that are happening, particularly from, I'd say the big idea that we talked about.
Grove set up a small office in nearby Kansas City to serve as the place where he could meet with clients. The location comes equipped with a convenient international airport while providing the virtual company with a nostalgic image.
This building itself that we're in is like 135 years old. I fell in love with it because of the woodwork, the transoms, obviously the little fireplace that sits here, and it kind of gave me the feeling of an old Private Eye's office, you know, as I was saying. I could almost see the Maltese Falcon sitting in a corner or something here.
Grove's Macintosh easily leaves its docking station at the office to stow away in a briefcase or a motorcycle saddlebag, or it slips neatly into its main dock at its office over the garage back home.
The traditional CEO saying, my door is always open. Well, quite honestly, my computer is always open. My phone lines are always open. Anybody who wants to get a hold of me can get a hold of me. And in all honesty, they can reach me probably easier than if I was in some ivory tower office like most traditional PR executives sit in.
What's going on?
What's happening regarding television exposure for...
Former network newsman Bill McAndrew in Bronxville, New York, gladly traded his daily commute into New York City.
If it was raining, I'd get rained on, stand on the platform, wait for the train, herd onto the train, go to work, go out to lunch, go back to work, and come home. I now wonder how I ever did it.
For a chance to spend time with his wife and 4-year-old son.
Both at the same time. I have many more productive hours than I used to have. I would say several a day.
Clients applaud the notion of accountability and getting what they pay for. They don't seem to care what town their rep calls from.
The upside on this particular facility is tremendous.
Bob Swanson, the head of Ridgewood Power, an energy investment firm in New Jersey, hardly notices that his rep, Steve Thompson, calls him from Virginia.
They were so efficient and provided so much media coverage for us much quicker than we thought that we joke with them. They exhausted our budget by accomplishing in a matter of 2 months what they thought or they projected to us would probably take 6 months.
The company is growing. It doubled revenues and added 6 new reps since Grove took over. But Grove says nobody at Primetime wants the company to become a giant.
We'll do about $2 million, a little bit more than $2 million this year in the way of billings. Now, this company will grow. I don't think it'll grow too huge because I don't think any of us that come to this company want it to be a major corporation. That's not why we're here.